Mae hen wlad fy nhadau yn annwyl I ni. The land of my fathers is dear to me. This is the beginning of a national anthem that rouses a love and an honour for a country that has remained unknown and forgotten by many. Since the end of the 1904 Welsh Revival, the attention of the world has no longer been on this small yet mighty country, but the Lord's gaze has been firmly fixed on his wild Welsh warriors. This got me thinking, if his love for his people and the church has remained the same, then why have we been deemed as silent and barren? Has the land of song truly lost its voice? And will we ever see God move in this land again? I'm not the sort of person who likes to leave questions unanswered, so I decided to investigate. I asked the Lord, why is Wales regarded as these things? Are we truly at a place of utter hopelessness, that the only thing we can talk about is the glory of days gone by? And have we missed our chance? Then he told me what really had been happening. He replied, I've been taking Wales through the wilderness. When you think of Christianity in Wales, you're immediately reminded of the 1904-1905 revival, led by the great revivalist, Evan Roberts. It's something we talk about often in churches, and don't get me wrong, what happened was completely life-changing to thousands of Welsh individuals, families and communities. We cannot deny the power of God that came upon the South Wales valleys, in particular during that year. It's something that has affected me greatly, and I wouldn't be standing here right now if the revival hadn't happened. But we cannot remain in the past. If we are so caught up with the stories of old, then how are we able to write our own? Would we even know what revival looks like for us here in the 21st century, and how would we sustain it? I met up with my friend Faith to discuss these questions and put the world to rights whilst we were at it. Wales. What has God been doing in Wales?
That's a big subject, though.
We're gonna hit a big subject today, but we'll start off talking about the Welsh Revival and kind of how that impacted our lives.
Yeah, there's twofold with revival, and I say this a lot. I have a love-hate relationship with it because I think the love of it that I have is that God moved here, and that it changed the landscape of how we view God, because we've experienced so much of him, even through the stories that have been passed down to our generation. Yeah. But I hate it because it was so romanticised, as if God came and just everything was just wonderful, people got saved, and it was just like this flowery kind of moment. And it wasn't. It was revival is a judgment of God coming. And I don't think people realise. So whenever God shows up, it separates what is good and what isn't. And you get to see both. And that's essentially what happened in revival. You know, people coming up to the pubs. That meant they weren't going to the pubs. Businesses were closing down. Poverty was on the increase because people's businesses were shutting down. You're talking about mines that the horses that they used no longer understood the men because they stopped swearing, and now they had to re-teach the horses how to do their job. Yeah. Now that doesn't come overnight. Right? And this is why it's not sustainable. Revival has never been sustainable anywhere. Nobody can tell me a country, a town or anything that's sustained a revival more than 6 months. It's always burnt out because you cannot live in the judgment of God for that long. Do I want God to move? He's already moving. Yeah. And if you can't see it, you need to look.
So do you think the revival the Welsh revival in particular, has that like affected you as a Christian yourself? Like in terms of when was the first time you kind of heard about it?
Yeah. I mean, I was always brought up with it. Yeah. Because, you know, my auntie, my grandparents were saved in the revival and would recount stories as children, young children who had been part of this revival move. And it did have an impact on me because they saw something I had never seen. So I just grew up in a normal Pentecostal church where you went to church 3 times on a Sunday, you went to prayer meeting, you went to all these things, but there were rules.
Yeah.
And church was all about maintaining a standard of how it looks and maintaining rules. And so I was brought up in that, in, you could say, the backlash of the revival afterwards. But revival was never meant, I don't think God's intention for revival was to ever demolish a place, but what it does do is highlight what is not of him.
Yeah.
And there was a whole lot in ways that weren't of him.
I didn't really hear about it. I came from a non-denominational background. My first real experience of God when I was 12 actually coincided with the centenary of the Welsh Revival.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so 2004 is when I met with God for the first time after hearing about it. So for me, it's been something that's like the catalyst to who I am now.
Right. I had a different experience. I went to Mariah Chapel, I think I was about 17 or 18 years old for the first time. And I expected this big moment, that God had been here, right? And I remember we had a bunch of missionaries with us. And we walked in, they were all like falling on the floor and crying and everything. And I felt nothing. And I thought, what is wrong with me that I'm not feeling anything? And it was very plain. God was very plain with it. He said, I'm not you.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, it's done. There is nothing left in this chapel that can be revived.
Yeah.
It's of the old days, of the old move. It's almost like, going over to Israel and looking for the place where Moses parted the Red Sea. Yes, it's like, oh my gosh, Moses was here. This is the moment the Red Sea parted. But is there anything here of the now? No, it's just the lessons.
Yeah.
And that's what I took away, is the lessons of yesterday. But I can't bring the emotion. I didn't live it.
No.
I didn't feel the emotions of it. I didn't get saved in it. So I can't live in what somebody else experienced.
Yeah.
I have to find it for myself.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? So I knew from that moment there was nothing of revival that I could bring into my day other than the lessons from it.
As well, for me, I think I got hit by the fact that a young girl from my stake got hit by it. And I thought, God actually moved here. He wasn't the God of the Bible for me anymore. He was you.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of revival, or looking at the past revival, it's not about, oh, God, do it again. It's like, oh, no, I want you to move again, but you can use me to do it.
Yeah.
So that
I'm you.
Yeah, I'm you. They're dead now.
Totally.
It's been, nearly 120 years.
If people are willing to just dig a little bit deeper into what is God actually doing right now, they'd see something which they'd never experienced before. Because the fact is, a Welsh person introduced was the same Welsh people you've got now.
Yeah.
We ain't changed.
No.
Right? The only thing that's changed is now we've got personalities that God has told to come to the forefront, these characters that are different from Evan Roberts.
Yeah.
They don't look like him. We're not oldie, worldy, Welshy people anymore. No. We're the modern Welsh age. But God has done a move through the modern Welsh people.
Absolutely.
And so I think it's about time people came over and understood this is not a time that we live in from introduced, or that we're still living in this time frame.
No.
It's gone.
Absolutely. So what do you think from, 1905 to 2023, what have you seen personally in Wales?
My parents got saved in what people call a mini revival in Neath, right? The church I brought up in was full. It wasn't this chapel that was just, 20, 30 people. This was a full church. I remember going to church as a child and it was heaving in there, right? So I wasn't brought up in a small church. We were in a small town, but it was full. I've seen what God can do. I've seen Whitsun marches, right? Thousands of Christians marching. And we used to meet in the old rugby grounds. There was just thousands of us, right? All from one town, right? Because, one thing about revival is that God didn't move on empty churches. These churches were full. It was part of our
tradition.
living.
Yeah, you went to chapel.
On a Sunday.
Yeah.
So chapel was full. This wasn't a big move of God and then people all of a sudden filled the churches. They were full of people. They just needed reviving.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because they were like really stale.
Stoking that fire.
Absolutely. But we're in a different day now.
Yeah,
because whereas my parents are saved in a full church, it's dwindled and dwindled. And now, you've got the baby boomers are dying off.
Yeah.
And their children are not in church.
No.
Right? So now the churches are empty.
Yeah.
That's a different problem. This isn't that revival from before. Yeah. But through this, what I've seen God do is raise up not the radicals. Right? I've heard this for years. God's raising up the radicals. Show me where the radicals are. I've not seen them. Do you know what he's raising up? The ones who will hold the fort.
Yeah.
The steadies, the constants, the ones who will keep going when the going gets tough. These aren't your fleeting, shake everything up and go.
No.
Right? He's raising up the ones who will sustain. Right? This is what's different from the last move. He raised up the radicals, Evan Roberts.
Yeah.
Right? Who was an absolute radical. Nobody could understand him. He was they thought he was nuts. Yeah. Right? And he was a radical. And to shake things up, because the people become so stale. Yeah. But now there is no people.
To shake up, yeah.
And now we've got a bunch of nomads that just go around and, they flit in and out and they can't sustain nothing. They can't sustain ministries, they can't sustain anything, right? God can't do anything with that. No. He needs the ones who can sustain stuff, the ones who are constant, faithful servants. And those are the ones that God is raising up. I'm looking around and going, oh my gosh, they've been doing this underground. Nobody knows them, 30 years. Yeah. And God's now doing something with them. These are the ones God's raising up. Yeah. So it's different from before.
Yeah. It's not the same.
It's not the same. No.
And I think we're coming to a shift now.
Oh my gosh.
It's a massive shift.
Huge shift. Well, my favourite Welsh saying in Avo ben bont, right? It was my saying in school, right? And on our badge, you have a badge with Welsh saying for all the comps. And on that, Avo ben bont means if you want to be a leader, be a bridge. Right? But they're two different destinations.
Yeah.
And somebody has got to come from the revival and make a bridge over. Yeah. And say, well, that's how it was, but this is how it is now.
No, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? And I think, we see in those people rise up.
These bridges.
Bridges. Awesome. Oh, that's
a word in itself.
That's a word in itself.
Oh,
be a bridge. Yeah.
Because you are a connector. That's what it is, isn't it?
Yes, that's it.
It's kind of taken from the old.
Yeah.
But your destination is the new.
Well, the stories are never going to die. For as long as we are doing God's work, we're still going to recount the revival stories. Yeah. Right? But we don't live in them. We look into what God is doing today. Yeah. I can tell you the goodness of God that my grandparents and then before I've experienced. And those are generational blessings that will go down. Right? But I'm not going to live in their experience. I want to experience God for myself. No, what's the point in living this life, telling old stories if I'm not seeing Him move in my own life and in my own church? I'm not going to do it.
You can say, oh, well, yeah, this is what happened. Isn't God good? We're like, okay, but you're telling somebody else's story.
Yeah, absolutely. Am I going to spend my whole life doing a ministry showing people what God used to do?
There's no point.
I want people to come over because they're like, I've seen that God is doing something here. And I had to be part. Well, we're seeing that this year, isn't it? We've had lots of people coming in and the first thing they're saying is not, we want to do the old revival tour. No, we want to do Bible College of Wales because that's where Rhys Howers was. We want to do Mariah Chapters, that's where Evan Roberts. Now they're saying, we know that something is happening. We've heard about what's happening there. We need to come out to experience it. Yeah. We're going to spend a week with you.
Because who wants to spend a week with a dead person?
Absolutely. But I've seen this, though. This is the thing.
But it's sad.
To me, it grieves me.
Yeah.
It's literally to that point it grieves me that people are pursuing a dead thing. Thinking they're coming over here and getting an anointing from 100 years ago.
Well, yeah. It's like that story, isn't it? With the girl goes to Mariah Chapel.
Right. Totally.
I think she was coming from Bethel. God told her to say, wakey, wakey.
Yeah.
She woke up the angel
Yeah.
of the past revival. He said, I
it.
don't know what you're doing here.
Yeah.
I'm the past revival. You need to go and find the new
The
one.
one. So if you want to be inspired, go to a museum.
Yeah.
But if you're going to do anything of worth, you better go to somewhere that's living.
Yeah.
Right, that's active. Right? So all these people coming over, I love it. All these, usually Americans in it, and all them coming over to look at these buildings and hear the stories. But I want them to take away something that's happening now.
Yeah.
Like I went there looking for the stories of old, and I came away with the stories of what's happening now.
Yeah.
It's different.
And then that spreads, see what God's doing now. Because everybody will be after it.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants to know what God's doing now.
Yeah.
It's been that period, I guess, in the wilderness.
Yeah.
Of just following God, following that pillar of smoke, pillar of fire.
Yeah.
Not knowing where to go, but just following him wherever he's at.
Yeah.
But it's like, we want the fullness. We want the more now.
Yes. But I don't want there's a difference between wanting more of God and wanting more of the move of God.
Yeah.
There's a difference between the two. If you want more of the move of God, you're going to have to be prepared for what that entails.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because the move of God means that he leaves a trail of goodness and devastation.
Yeah.
Right? Because the judgment's God.
Yeah.
Right? And so people are pursuing the move of God. And this is where you get, we had the awakening in Barren, and it lasted all of 2 minutes. Right? Because someone gets healed. People are like, whoa, this is amazing. We haven't seen this in years. And they all pile in, and this atmosphere builds up, and the Spirit's move in, don't get me wrong. But it's the move of God that can't be sustained.
Yeah.
Because now the expectation is up here. Now you're looking, God, you've got to move again. You've got to move again so we can sustain this.
Yeah.
And it was never about, it's about pursuing Jesus only.
Yeah.
And if our pursuit becomes God moving, we're going to miss out on God himself.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Because he's already passed.
Yeah, listen, I am living revival right now.
Yeah.
We had a clean-up operation in church, right? And we've got 2 massive buildings. One is a 3,000-seater, right? We've got to clean them, right? And it was me, my mum, and a couple of others. Sometimes only 2 of us cleaning these 2 buildings. They take us all week. And then 20 plus people this year show up. And I was absolutely astounded. And I was thinking, I am living the prayers that I prayed 20 years ago. That's revival.
Yeah, absolutely.
When 20 plus people show up, unpaid, to clean the church and just want to be together, you are living revival.
Yeah.
Why? Because these people are in pursuit of God.
Yeah.
They're not in pursuit of the move of him, because they won't come to a cleaning party.
Most people won't.
No, they won't.
They won't come and pay to come flight over from America or wherever to come and see a group of
people cleaning.
But this isn't a revival. No. How would you know?
Yeah, but because that is the pursuit of God.
Yeah.
It says, commit to all your works unto the Lord, and he will establish all your thoughts.
Yeah.
Right? They commit all their works to him. Right? So they show up. Why? Because they're in pursuit of God. If you want to see people that's in pursuit of the move of God, I can take you to a few churches. And it's all about the celebrity ministers coming in. It's all about the, this person has got a healing ministry, let's get that person in. And they've got the people in the congregation that have the anointings for these things already.
Absolutely.
But they're bringing in the celebrities of the Christian world. Why? Because it attracts people.
Yeah.
See, they don't need God.
No.
They just need the move of God.
Yeah.
There's a vast difference.
It's almost like the move of God is the PR and the marketing.
But it is. It's the healings and the miracles. See, God is faithful. He's never not going to heal.
Yeah.
Right? If someone asks, he's going to provide.
Yeah.
Right? So there's always going to be those things. Right? You put a worship team up there with some cracking worship, people are going to worship. God's going to move. He's going to talk to people. Right? Because he's faithful.
Yeah.
He's never not going to speak.
Yeah.
Right? But that's the move of God.
Yeah.
Pursuit of Jesus is something completely different. Right? It's when you've done your him.
Yeah.
When times get really tough.
Yeah.
When you don't need those celebrity pastors.
Yeah.
When you're on your own in your house and all hell is breaking loose.
Yeah.
You don't need the move of God. you need God himself. Right? I don't need all the razzmatazz right now, Lord. I don't need the big miracles and things. I just need you to establish me. Me and you. I just need to know you close.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? And I think we've got a cracking bunch of people that are not in pursuit of the move of God anymore. Yeah, we give the 5-point sermon to people in evangelism of, do you know you're going to hell, and 666 and Jesus come back for the second time and all this type of stuff. And it's just noise. It's absolute noise. You're talking to people that just have no concept of God.
Yeah.
And you're trying to tell them all this stuff. Yeah. Just tell them, call on the name of the Lord, you will be saved. Just call on Jesus. Yeah. The name of Jesus, people say. Even the thief on the cross, it was the last minute. He just said, I believe. Who you say you are. And Jesus turned around and said, you will be with me in heaven. Yeah. Right? This is what I'm talking about. The move of God is something that happens when we pursue God.
Absolutely. Because he is moved by us.
He's moved by us.
Pursuing him.
Absolutely. Yeah. But we've got to stop doing it the other way around.
It's, you know, I've been there. Like, I remember going to, like, a Jesus culture.
Yeah.
When I was 15, I came to Cardiff, and I was so disappointed in it.
Yeah.
Because it was like, they sang a couple of songs. I went to go and see them.
Yeah.
And then they started doing evangelism, and I was bored out of my brain. Because I was like, I already know this. Yeah. Obviously, I hadn't quite connected the dots and stuff, but I've grown up in that whole culture of wanting the move, but not wanting him.
Right. Yeah, totally.
So, and so many people are, I guess from the 80s really, it's been that, the last 40 years has been very much, I want to see his works, but I don't want to know him.
Right. So it's easy to see his works.
Yeah.
It's not easy to pursue him.
No.
Because that requires now your availability. But your availability means nothing unless you're willing to do something in the availability. Yeah. It means you've got to put your hands up in. The greatest lie at the minute that I've heard, and I had to correct it, is that I can just be. Right? And then I am fulfilling what God has asked me just by being. I just need to be available for his love. Yeah. Wow. Because if you can't see that you cannot be anything more than what Jesus has done, than who he is. It is only by who he is that I can be anything. Yeah. Right? But what he said, he didn't say to the disciples when he was going back to heaven after he died and resurrected, he didn't say, greater things will you be than what I have. No. Nah. What did he say? Greater things will you do. So it's important what you do. And I think this is filtered across the Christian words that, oh no, it's just about my identity, it's about being in Christ and blah, blah, blah. But what are you doing? Yeah. Because being available for his love is one thing, but you've got to do something with that availability. Yeah. Right? You've got to do something.
Well, it's like what your father was talking about last night. He was asking the question, are you ready?
Yeah.
And a lot of people around me said, yeah.
And you were like, no.
I looked at Katie and I said, probably not. Yeah. I think we both were like, oh, no. Totally. Because we've been in that experience of doing.
Yes.
And we are receiving, I guess, for us as a group, and I think we're experiencing everything before everybody else.
Totally.
So we've gone through that moment of, I guess, like, pursuing God is tough work.
Absolutely.
Going through the ringer. And that's what people don't see.
No.
They see your, on the front of the camera as this, that, and the other. But we've all been going through the ringer this last year.
Totally.
In pursuit of him. And we've come out better and stronger.
Absolutely. Because when you're in pursuit of God, you have to do something. Yeah. Right? I don't ask God who I am. Because he points me to the word. Yeah. Whatever Jesus is, be that. Mm-hmm. Right? So I never asked him, Lord, who am I? Be Jesus. Yeah. Be kind, gentle, patient, all these types of things, right? So I don't have to figure out my identity now because it's all set for me. What I do need to figure out, what do I do? So that's my question every day when I wake up with the Lord. Lord, what do you require me to do today? Not be. Mm-hmm. I know what I got to be. Yeah. What do you require me to do? And it's so important. And if people are going to see the Lord's hand in Wales, they need to understand the time for being nomadic and just this whole paganism that's kind of filtered into church of being,
Yeah.
you're going to have to chuck that out. Because you'll find your identity in the word. That's never going to change.
No.
Right? If you are not being what the word says for you to be, you're not doing what God has asked you to do. Yeah. Right? So this isn't a complicated thing. We've complicated over the years. We've got schools now for finding your identity. Save us.
Yeah.
Because all I've got to do is open up some scriptures and it tells me.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole of Proverbs is all about being. Be this way. Be wise. Yeah. Be prudent.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so straightforward.
Yeah.
I just have to figure out what I do. Because it was different for everybody. Moses didn't do the same as what David did. David didn't do the same as what Isaac did. They all did different things. So God required something different from them all. Yeah. Same with Evan Roberts. I'm not going to do what Evan Roberts did. And people do this, mind. I've been in revival meetings and they've asked everybody to pray the same prayer as Evan Roberts. Yeah. So now you require me to do the same as Evan Roberts to get the same result. I'm not Evan Roberts and I don't want the same result.
If you're doing the same thing more than once...
It's insanity.
It's insanity and expecting a different result.
It's insanity.
People are expecting, I don't know if they're expecting the same result. Maybe that's insane as well.
Absolutely.
And
if you're going to want me to bawl my eyes out on the floor begging God for the next move, you will not find it. Because that is not the God that I serve. It was God that Evan served. And we need to understand this. The God that you serve is the same God, but he requires different from me. Yeah. The being part, he requires the same from everybody. We've all got to be kind. We've all got to be gracious. We've all got to be wise. You know, that's a standard placed on all believers. Yeah. But what I do is not necessarily required of you. It's not necessarily required of the rest of the team. No. Right? And this is where we can trip each other up. Because now we put false responsibilities on each other. Yeah. And we say, well, God's told me. God's told me to do this. Yeah, but he's not told her to do this. You know, that God has told you to do something, go and do it. Yeah. Be a church that goes, go and do it. If that's what the Lord's told you to do it. But do not put that burden on me. No. I will support you and I will rah-rah you and, you know, I'll even put the finance up for you, whatever. That's the way our church functions. But do not put that burden on me to carry. So that's not mine. Right? If you're asking me to be kinder, that's my burden. Let's share that one. If we've got to be more patient, let's share that burden. Because that's being. But doing is a different thing. You know.
There are numerous prophecies that have been spoken about Wales in the 100 years plus since that revival. One recurring theme that I have noticed is that Wales is considered less than. And there is an overwhelming sense that the prophets seem regretful that we couldn't keep the revival going. Our land has been called barren, silent, weeping, and the least of the least. We are now at the point where we've started to believe these words spoken over us and are now taking them on as our identity. But God never wanted us to think like this, and not all of us do.
This is a recurring theme for Wales. Is that something good happens and then we fail. And we're never reminded of what we did right. We're always reminded about what we did wrong. And that has filtered into the church down to my generation. You're not praised for what you did right. You are reprimanded because of what you've done wrong. Yeah. And that's a narrative we've been changing for the last 20 odd years, isn't it? Yeah. But I've experienced so much, right? I've been in meetings that were in conferences, which you know my stance on conferences. I've been in conferences where I'm going to be careful, but I need to say it as it is. People have stood there and said, you've missed it, Wales. I've even been in a conference, and I mean no disrespect to the people who did this, because they did right their wrongs, but they took the Welsh flag with the dragon on and they stamped all over it as a statement. And what they did, what they thought was just, well, it's a flag with Satan on it. Right? because it's a serpent that's on the flag, fiery serpent. What they didn't realise was we didn't interpret that as Satan. We interpret that as the serpent that Moses put on the pole and raised it up, and the Lord said, whoever gazes upon that will be healed. That's what Wales stands for.
Yeah.
But we constantly misinterpreted. And so we've always prophecies that have come in. There's been good ones, don't get me wrong, but a lot of them have been to diminish our very culture.
Yeah.
The very core of who we are. Né? The Welsh are loud, brash. We swear. We're like, bullshit and everything. That's the majority of Welsh people are like that. Yeah. Right? It just happens to be the way that our characters are fixed. But instead of seeing that as a characteristic, that's just Welsh people, that's what God has made Welsh people. Yeah. No, we've got to diminish that because it's too in your face here. They say it as it is, it's not good, see? They've got to filter that. They can't be saying it like that. And so we're constantly being diminished. And it gets to the point with all that kind of stuff that the Welsh will start diminishing the Welsh. Yeah. So now even churches are against each other. Yeah. We don't do it like that, see? Oh, no. Oh, I won't go to that church. Ooh. Terrible stuff going on in that church. Oh, they're rowdy. Yeah. And now we're even fighting each other. Yeah. Do you mean? So I'm very careful. Do you know, my favourite moment, I've got to tell you this, my favourite moment of 2022. We did a conference in a tent. And leading up to this, a few people had put online, different people that didn't know each other, but a few people had put online, oh, Wales, don't be broken-hearted. You know, all this type of stuff. I was saying, broken-hearted? I'm on Wales time, yeah? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's thriving down in Nice.
Barren as well.
I know, Barren. I was like, you obviously haven't been to our church. Or you haven't been to Nice. Because we got a few thriving churches in Nice, right? Yeah. So don't tell me that that's going on. And so we went up to this conference and I did worship, whatever. And Katie, our kind of poet from the church, she got up and she did this poem and she recited a lot of the words that they would use, woeful Wales, pitiful Wales and all that stuff. And then she was like, that's not the Wales that I know. And I was like, yes. It was like that freedom moment from Braveheart,
Weeping Wales, wailing Wales, woeful Wales, wistful Wales, wretched Wales, wounded Wales, worsted Wales, withered Wales, wanting Wales, whining Wales, worn out Wales, war-torn Wales, wonderless Wales, wordless Wales, wasteland Wales. This is not how the Lord sees you, Wales. Stop the pity party and grab on to the coattails of your king. Begin to see how he does things. The womb of Wales is weighty, wealthy, plenteous, healthy, heavy with exuberant expectancy, pregnant with potent identity, alive with divine fidelity. Wales is the Lord's poetry, created to be holy. Wales is already roaring, and if you can't hear it, pray for healing over your hearing. Wales is not in mourning. Can't you feel the ground beneath you vibrating from the dancing? Wales has laid aside the idol of revival and is chanting the only name that matters, Jesus. So wipe your eyes, Wales. You're going to need to be able to see clearly where his adventure leads next. Don't miss how he moves because it doesn't look how you expect. Expect the unexpected. You have not been neglected. You have not been rejected. Stop all your lamenting or you miss his divine direction into resurrection.
Right, that was such a moment. It was such a statement of saying, that this is what you see. It's not what's happening. See,
Yeah.
anything that's worth anything with the Lord happens in secret first.
Yeah.
He hides it first. He teaches it the lessons. He matures it.
Yeah.
See, the best was kept for last.
Yeah.
Right? And then he exposes it in all its maturity. See, anything that's exposed quickly is not matured.
No.
And that's why it fizzles out really fast.
Yeah.
Anything that's worth it, that's going to be sustained, has to be kind of mentored behind closed doors in the secret place. So don't tell me nothing is happening, because I've seen the secret places in Wales.
Yeah.
I know what God is doing.
Yeah.
Right? So if you, rather than coming in with your prophecy of what you see,
Yeah.
right? What they do, people tend to do this, and they look at what they see and then they prophesy from it.
Yeah.
Right? That's not prophecy. You are just telling me what you see. Prophecy is declaring what God's about to do.
Yeah.
Right? You're not declaring what God's about to do. You're just telling me what you see.
Well, it's meant to be encouraging
Right.
and to build up the church.
And it's not being.
And it's not.
No.
If you were diminishing who people are,
Yeah. Yeah.
that is not an encouraging word.
No. It's really not.
It's like, oh, another person again.
Yeah.
Still thinks that. Not that it matters what they think, but it's like, oh, that is how the country and we as a people are being perceived.
It does matter what they think. Because we want, naturally in Wales, we like to be brothers in arms. See, with me, if you're my mate for life, you have to walk away first. I won't walk away from you. Right? That tends to be the way it is. If you go to one church, you tend to be there for life. Like my cousins have been in the same church all their life. So I say brothers in arms. They won't leave each other. Great, right? And we want to be that to other people that are not from Wales.
Yeah.
And when they turn around and say something which is not for you, but diminishing what God's been doing with you in the secret, it hurts. Because they didn't see. They saw surface. We've been digging for gold. You don't find gold on the surface.
No.
You find gold underneath.
Yeah.
And so they're not going to be privy to those things.
No.
Because they need to be invited. You need to make relationship. Right? And then I'll invite you in. And I'll show you what's been happening in the secret. But don't just come in telling me that Wales has missed it. And Wales is sorry we feel ever so sorry that you left with the remnants of the revival. There's no remnants.
No.
God is just as much here now as he was back then.
Absolutely.
You're on by the move of God, something completely different.
Yeah.
Right? But God is just as much active now. The Holy Spirit is the Holy Spirit, same everywhere. So I don't know which one you've done mixed up there. And so we've had to do a lot of correcting work.
Yeah.
Over the years.
I guess that's what the last 40 years or since the revival has been, it's been correcting work.
Oh yeah.
It's
totally.
like, that's where we are. We're the Israelites in the wilderness.
Yeah.
And God is not letting us out until we sort ourselves out. And it's been 40 years.
It have. Yeah.
Well, there you have it. We're not claiming those negative words over us anymore. But now I had even more questions. What has God been doing in the secret place? And how are we similar to the Israelites wandering through the wilderness? My search for these answers was only just beginning. Join me next time as I discover what God has really been doing in the unseen and meet some of the people he has been using in this supposed silent season.